Dauntless just released its full version on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, and what better way to showcase this giant behemoth hunting action RPG than to break down and explain all 6 weapons available in the game. Dauntless has no RPG classes per se, but instead the incredibly distinct weapons you choose to take into battle will completely dictate how you play. The following will briefly prepare you for each weapon type and will hopefully save you from wasting crafting materials on the ones that you might not like. The axe is one of, if not the slowest weapon in Dauntless, but it packs a devastating punch when you manage to carefully place your attacks. It has a variety of horizontal and vertical strikes that can be charged up to various levels to increase their attack power. You can finish off your vertical combo with the powerful Ripper attack that will last as long as you have the stamina to maintain it. Your horizontal charge allows you to actually move while charging, which is usually your best tool to preemptively start combos. The dodge attacks come out very quickly and are also a great way to close the distance and start an attack string. The first 2 vertical and horizontal attacks are interchangeable, allowing for some variety to your combo startups. When charging the axe, look for the brightest flash on your character and release for maximum damage. The axe's special ability is Flight of Ruin, which allows you to throw out your axe to deal damage from a distance and can be recalled to deal a powerful finishing blow. When landing charge attacks with your axe, you will be building up this meter in the top left, which will power up your subsequent attacks the more it builds up. If you can raise and maintain this meter effectively, you will find your damage output to be greatly improved. Overall, the axe is decently slow compared to the other weapons and can be quite stamina hungry, especially when performing your advancing charge, but if you're skilled enough with your spacing and timing, it can be incredibly potent in the right hands. And honestly, it never really gets old throwing out that axe and slamming it into a behemoth's face. The chain blades are the polar opposite of the axe in nearly every way, with incredibly fast close-range attacks and long-reaching chain throws that allows you to keep your distance. The combos are fairly straightforward, with swinging blades being a great way to deal a lot of damage with less risk, but if you have the proper opening, the stationary blade spin can be held to deal continual damage until you run out of stamina. The dash attacks are a decent way to close the distance, but don't provide much of a speed advantage over your standard strikes. Your chain pull allows you to instantly close the distance on a behemoth, and if used in close proximity, also to chain push off them while dealing damage. Combined all of this with the chain blade's incredibly good dash speed, quick attacks, range, and mobility options, and you have an amazing hit and run weapon that can easily weave in and out of combat. If you like to deal a ton of damage with a flurry of fast attacks and love to be incredibly agile, the chain blades will be perfect for anyone looking for a great all-around weapon. The repeaters are the most customizable weapon in Dauntless and the only purely ranged weapon in the game. Your standard shots are a fairly straightforward way to attack from a distance, but do have decent damage drop-off if you try to attack from too far away. You also have customizable grip and chamber attacks that can be used to throw mines, provide buffs, or fire off powerful charge-up attacks. These can all be changed according to what parts you socket onto your guns, which gives you a little more flexibility when building out your character. Now you can't just sit back in safety too much with the repeaters, because you are rewarded for reloading close to behemoths, which empowers up your guns for a time. While this is active, you deal more damage and your chamber and grip skills become much more powerful. The repeaters are a great way to challenge yourself in a slightly different way compared to the melee weapons in the game, and provide you a fun balancing act of keeping your guns empowered by playing aggressively. The War Pike provides some quick-hitting piercing attacks and long-range opportunities to sever behemoth parts. Your harvest attacks are slower but charge up your meter faster, which I'll be getting back to shortly. Each of these 2 attack types can be interchanged at any time to create your own custom combos. Use this to balance out quick damage and charging up your meter faster at the same time. The dodge attacks are great at closing the distance, which is the area that the war pike is lacking the most. Your meter in the top left builds up from attacking and boosts your damage when it's raised, but you can also perform an Aether conversion, which transfers your current gauge level into a bullet to be used later. This bullet can be used to perform a pike blast, which must be charged and released correctly to shoot accurately, and can deal a huge amount of damage, as well as inflicting a large amount of sever and break damage to behemoth parts. The war pike is the go-to weapon for breaking and cutting things off of behemoths, and while not the most agile weapon, its customizable combos and fast-piercing strikes make it a very potent damage dealer. The hammer is easily one of the most complex weapons in all of Dauntless, but also one of the most rewarding. Your strike attacks differ according to if you're moving or stationary, and depending on which, offer a range of vertical and horizontal attacks. The dodge attack is fairly standard and provides some additional reach. You can also charge up a concussive blast that requires use of your hammer's bullets. This hammer is no ordinary blunt instrument, however, and it can actually blast you through the air in a variety of ways when also using these bullets. You can perform a standard jump, a double jump, or even an evasive blast to quickly get to anywhere you desire in an instant. You can also pre-prime your strikes by using up a bullet to make them deal more damage, or you can end your swings with a reload of a singular bullet. The powerful Aether Slam can be performed at the end of a combo and consumes all your bullets, but if connected with a behemoth, it'll instantly refill all your ammo, making it nearly a risk-free way to deal a huge amount of damage. Your hammer's bullet gauge is found in the top left corner and will need to be micromanaged during the entirety of a fight. You can reload manually, which is quickened by correctly timing your active reload, or you can learn to prime your strike so you can attack and reload at the same time. All the various ways you can use the hammer can seem staggering at first, but in practice are much more natural than when bluntly explained. If you're looking to aim for the head, stun behemoths repeatedly, and are seeking a weapon with one of the highest skill ceilings in the game, the hammer is definitely a blast to learn. The sword is one of the most straightforward weapons in Dauntless, but not without its own unique properties. Your light attacks come out decently quick and can also be linked into heavy attacks if you pause during your triple element combo. Your heavy attacks are more vertical and slower, but deal pretty nice raw damage. The repeating elements combo allows you to perform a flurry of light attacks indefinitely, at least until your stamina gauge is depleted. Your dodge attacks have a nice lunge to them and are a great way to quickly chase down a moving behemoth. When attacking with the sword, you'll be charging up your overdrive meter, which powers up your strikes and also allows you to attack from a short distance. This also allows you to use your Aether Dash, which lets you move a great distance in an instant. The sword is one of the most well-rounded and easiest to pick up weapons in Dauntless, while providing a good mix of hard-hitting attacks and a nice damage burst when your overdrive is active. And that pretty much covers the basics of all 6 weapons available in Dauntless. There's even more flexibility with your playstyle when diving into the lantern abilities and weapon mods, but hopefully this somewhat prepares you for what to expect from the general flow of combat. If you're curious about Dauntless and are wondering if you might like it or not, well, it's free and available to download right now on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, so why not just jump in and try it out? From my experience for a free-to-play game, it seems like they have a fairly good business model in place here, and the content on offer is pretty high quality. If you happen to enjoy the style of informative content I do here at Boomstick Gaming, consider subscribing for more, and also let me know which weapon you think will fit your playstyle best, because I don't make these for me, I make them for you, and I always want feedback on how I can improve my formula. As always, this has been Deadite, and thanks for watching.